Following on from Dom's surprising opening round victory in Kenya, it was reigning champion Roy who hit back and took top spot next time out in Estonia. Isak then claimed his first win in almost 7 years, excelling on the tarmac of Croatia. The championship headed to Chile next, and we were treated to a fourth different winner from as many rallies as Softy took his turn on the top step of the podium. And then last time out, it was Isak who returned to form with victory in Japan, moving himself to within striking distance of the championship lead. Season 12 has continued the trend of thrilling title battles in TGP Rally, and here in Central Europe, Roy, Isak, Softy and Zak all fight for the ultimate prize. But while 4 can still win out, it looks likely to be between Irishman Roy and Dutchman Isak. A slender 6-point gap covers the front two, with Hyundai Softy 23 points adrift of first and Zak a further 4 points behind. Softy knows his task. He must win this rally and hope others can get in between him and Roy and Isak. He flew through the opening stage to run fastest and hold an early lead. Asphalt has not been Roy's preferred surface, with the best result of 3rd from the previous 2 rallies, and it would be a steady start that kept him in contention, but already 10 seconds off the fastest time in 6th overall. Isak was pushing hard to get himself clear of Roy, but a costly mistake on a tight 3 right would see him fly off the road and pick up a 30-second time penalty. The chasing Dutchman now had it all to do as he placed 13th overall. Dom was caught out at the same corner with the same time penalty applied. The winner of the opening event had been off the pace on asphalt and would have an even scarier moment later that he was lucky to escape from. The Hyundai runner was 15th after the first stage and almost a minute off the leaders. Court's time was a quick one, enough to go second fastest, less than 2 seconds away from Softy. Henry has come alive in recent weeks, and he would have gone quickest had it not been for the brief cut across the grass that handed him a 5-second time penalty. While 3 seconds covered the front 3 of Softy, Court and Henry, Luca and Zak were happy to get themselves inside the top 5 early on. Isak's incident meant Roy was still on course for the title, but should he himself drop 3 places back, it would be Softy that could steal it. Court looked well suited to the Czechia roads and had the potential to claim a first win since Season 7, but his hopes would not last long as contact with a streetlight resulted in a puncture.
We have a puncture, 15 kilometers to go.
His focus was now solely on the power stage. Owen Gilles Panizzi Quemby had not been living up to his name this season. Heavier contact with the same streetlight that had just caught out Court ended his season early.
Oh, what the fuck?
Isak responded from his opening stage error in fine form, as he set a lightning quick time that would bring him right back into contention. He moved up 6 places to 7th, thanks to the fastest time. Softy was the only driver who could get anywhere near him, and in doing so meant he extended his rally lead quite nicely to 15 seconds. Finnish driver Henry jumped into 2nd overall thanks to Court's time loss, while Zak was now up to 3rd and just a couple of seconds clear of Phil in 4th. Roy's time was nothing spectacular. It was 25 more seconds loss, but he was now 5th overall and crucially still ahead of Isak. While Softy extended his lead at the front, Henry looked safe in 2nd with a 13-second gap over Zak in 3rd. 8 seconds was the difference between 3rd and 7th, with Isak now just 2 seconds away from the man he must outscore by 6 points to take the title. A little further back and Hickey and Matt were running well in 9th and 10th respectively. With such tight margins between multiple drivers in the fight that would decide the championship, Roy knew that he had to take more risks and find more pace. Through Brusnay, he did just that. It was one of his best stages of the season that saw him run just 0.04 of a second quicker than Isak and remain ahead with 1 stage to come. Luca's time was almost identical as he stayed 5th overall in between the 2 title challengers. The Manxman was likely to play a key part in which way this would be decided. Henry claimed his 3rd stage win of the season as he set a time that was 4 seconds quicker than rally leader Softy, closing the gap at the front to just 11 seconds. Phil was chasing Zak's P3 while also looking over his shoulder to the chasing trio of Roy, Luca and Isak, and maybe pushing a little too hard. The slightest of touches with the grass sent him flying into the woods and out of the rally. With the lead down to just under 11 seconds, Henry still had the chance to claim a debut win should Softy make a late mistake. Zak was narrowly holding on to 3rd, while Roy needed to make sure Isak finished behind him to guarantee the title. Dom continued his progress through the field, moving up 4 places to 7th, just ahead of Matt. Softy was now unlikely to have a chance at the championship, with Roy and Isak placing so highly. The power stage offers the top 5 fastest times bonus points from 5 for first to 1 for fifth, and this would play a decisive part on how the title was won. Isak had to beat Roy in the rally, but how many positions ahead of him he needed to be depended on their placings through the power stage. Up front, Henry was pushing hard to apply pressure to rally leader Softy. A costly mistake in the final split, though, meant he was handed an 8-second time penalty for running too wide.
Oh, fuck.
Softy kept his cool to set another superb time and confirm a 12th career victory. It had been an impressive performance from the former 2-time champion, and he would hope to carry this form over to the new season. Looking to hold on to 3rd overall, Zach looked a little shaky. A scruffy start to the stage that picked up damage meant he would score no bonus points for the first time this campaign. Isak had come close to the title way back in Season 3, but this was his best chance yet of finally taking the ultimate prize. He was hoping to claim maximum power stage points, but while his run did look very impressive, his time was 5 seconds back from what Softy had managed. Enough though to move ahead of Zach in the overall classification. Roy also now had to jump Zach. He could not afford for the Toyota runner to split him and Isak. 4.5 seconds was the time he had to beat him by, and incredibly he ran 5 seconds quicker to finish 4 tenths ahead. Quite worryingly though, his time was some 16 seconds slower than Isak, and Henry was now in between them on the power stage. Isak had jumped Roy in the rally and was on course for a good haul of power stage points too. He now needed either Luca to split the two, or for Roy to drop another place on the stage. As things stood, Roy was winning the championship by 1 point. Cord was up next and would give little brother Isak a big helping by running 4 seconds quicker than Roy.
Okay. 7 minutes, 7.7.
Yes!
This meant Isak was now provisionally winning the championship on countback. And so it was all down to Luca. He could hand the title back to Roy if he ran within 2 seconds of Isak's time. It looked fast, and it was quicker than what Henry, who was 3rd, and Court, who was 4th, had managed. But at 7 seconds slower than Isak, it was enough to place him in between the pair on the rally and the final stage, handing Isak the championship. In the end, Softy's winning margin was almost half a minute, as Isak recovered to the podium after placing 13th on the opening stage. Luca had scored his best result of the season, while Roy was left to settle for 5th. Dom held on to 7th, as Hickey jumped Matt for 8th, and Court moved back inside the top 10. Aiden dropped a place on the final stage, while Cuman put in his best result of the season in 12th. CJH, Sayer and Jonas completed the points positions, with Lemons just missing out. In addition, there were 7 more drivers who all failed to make the end, most notably Phil and Owen. 7 points was the difference covering the top 3 in the end, with Isak winning out thanks to victories in Croatia and Japan, and his thrilling podium here in Central Europe. Zach edged Henry for 4th, while Court won out on his battle with Dom for 6th. Hickey had an impressive campaign to finish 9th, while Luca was a point further back in 10th. After the event came the shock news that Isak would not be back to defend his crown. He leaves Toyota to join up with the Scuderia Ferrari esports team. Quite the promotion. There isn't long to wait until the next installment of TGB Rally action, and it will have some way to go to top this incredible season. But this championship never fails to surprise.